But it's a class action lawsuit against all machines. Action lawsuit against all machines.
I would say, oh, I'm not a beta male. I'm not a beta male. You know, you're a beta male.
Beta.
They're coming all over the place.
It is time for us to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day. Every day it is time for us to agree.
They had a very bad original concept. It was carried out poorly, and the cover-up was one of the worst in the history of cover-ups. Very simple. Bad deal, should have never been thought of. Somebody really messed up, and they had the worst cover-up ever. And where it should have stopped is at the deal standpoint, what they thought.
That isn't what it meant.
Well, what did it mean then? Explain.
It meant that it's indicative of low-resolution thinking. What rules, you sons of bitches? Why attack Sanders? Why? You're getting nervous, man. Calm down. It's okay.
And then they have cans of soup. And they throw the cans of soup. That's better than a brick because you can't throw a brick. It's too heavy. But a can of soup, you can really put some power into that, right? And then when they get caught, they say, no, this is soup from my family. They're so innocent. This is soup from my family. It's incredible. And you have people coming over with bags of soup, big bags of soup, and they lay it on the ground, and the anarchists take it, and they start throwing it at our cops, at our police. And if it hits you, that's worse than a brick because it's got force. It's the perfect size. It's like made perfect. And when they get caught, they say, no, this is just soup for my family. And then the media says, this is just soup. These people are very, very innocent. They're innocent people. I'll kiss every guy, man and woman. Man and woman. Man and woman. Man and woman. Look at that guy, how handsome he is. Look at that guy, how handsome he is. Look at that guy, how handsome he is. How handsome he is. Look at that guy, how handsome he is. Man and woman. Man and woman. Look at that guy, how handsome he is. I'll kiss him.
Running against the worst candidate in the history of presidential politics puts pressure on me. Could you imagine if I lose my whole life? What am I going to do? I'm going to say I lost to the worst candidate in the history of politics. I'm not going to feel so good. Maybe I'll have to leave the country. I don't know.
I went in yesterday and there was a television screen and I said, this is genius.
That will enhance our underlying effort to accommodate the Russian oligarchs and make sure we take their ill-begotten gains. We're going to accommodate them. We're going to seize their yachts, their luxury homes, and other ill-begotten gains of Putin's kleptocracy. Kleptocracy. The guys who are the kleptocracy. But these are bad guys.
I liked beer. I still like beer. But I did not drink beer to the point of blacking out.
Dub is a shit fuck, you know, cringe tour, etc., etc.
$7 million for reef fish management.
Hello, users! Got a show going on today. Hello, everybody. Hello, every single body. Every single body. Welcome to the program. Ooh. Hi. So we got a show going on today. Hopefully everyone is having a good morning. A morning that is good. Today I'm having a good morning. I apologize for not doing a program yesterday. Yesterday Max the dog had some veterinary, is that how, appointments, and I initially thought it would work out and I could still do a show. Turned out it did not work out in that way, and so I couldn't do a show yesterday. But Max the dog is home. He's recovering. He's got a bunch of squares on his body, a bunch of squares, and he's currently on the floor. So that's always good news. But he's pretty lethargic. He's also hopped up. He's hopped the heck up. So, there you go. But yeah, I figure I'd rather not do a show and then don't worry about it than come on and do like a 10-minute, you know what I mean? Like, it's too much stress in one day. So, gonna be doing a show today. Today I'm going to be doing a lightning round of movie and television content at the end of today's program. We're going to start off. I don't know if you can hear my air conditioner, by the way. I still got this discoloration. Is that like a zit? You see this? It's like a red discoloration. I'm going to be doing that later on. I'm going to be doing a news program. And that's going to be first. We're going to be doing the news program first. Let me drink some seltzer. Is it really loud and clear? Like, should I turn it off? I don't know how to, like, change. Is that better? So we got a show going on. I would like everyone to share the program. If you got a stupid fucking uncle, dumb motherfucker that doesn't know shit about jack, send him this link. Educate the little bastard. If you got your mom, who may still be alive in your case, who you like to talk and discuss things with, share the link. You got a niece or nephew of some kind, and you want to indoctrinate them, get them in immorally on the neo-modern Marxist, progressivist thought, you know, share the link. Or don't. I don't care. Anyway. Oh my god. Ugh. Plant-based meat. By far the best climate investment. Report finds exclusive. Non-animal proteins can play a critical role tackling climate crisis, says Boston Consulting Group. Alright, so first there's multiple layers to this. let me start out with a little bit of bullet points on my thoughts here. 1, no fucking shit. Duh. 2, if you eat meat, you're a bad person. 3, no amount of individual lifestyle changes are going to overall affect the systems of power. 4, if you eat meat, you're a dumbass. So, I think I've pretty much got everything I need to say out there. Investments in plant-based alternatives to meat lead to far greater cuts in climate heating emissions than other green investments, according to one of the world's biggest consultancy firms. Now, keep in mind, we're talking about investments. We're talking about if you want to, you know, put your money in something, you know, you don't want to, like, destroy the planet, right? But you do want to make a big return. This would be, like, so that's the frame of reference here. That, like, so we're talking about, like, how to, like, you know, 500x your fucking grandma's inheritance or some shit, right? The report from the Boston Consulting Group found for each dollar investment in improving and scaling up the production of meat and dairy alternatives resulted in 3 times more greenhouse gas reductions compared with investment in green cement technology, 7 times more than green buildings, and 11 times more than zero-emission cars. We see a lot of people talk about electric car, goddamn, bro, Tesla, right? Like, we see a lot of people talk about that kind of shit. You know, just throwing that out there. Investments in the plant-based alternatives to meat delivered this high impact on emissions because of the big difference between the greenhouse gases emitted when producing conventional meats and dairy products and when growing plants. Beef, for example, results in 6 to 30 times more emissions than tofu. 6 to 30. Investment in alternative proteins, also including fermented products and cell-based meat, has jumped from 1 bin 830 in 2019 to 5 bin in 2021. Alternatives make up 2% of meat, egg, and dairy products sold, but will rise to 11% in 2035 on current growth trends. 11% is not good enough by 2035. That is not good enough. We need 11% by 2025. Stop buying meat. Stop buying eggs. Stop buying dairy. Just saying. Just throwing it out there. I mean, at least, at the very least, reduce your consumption at the very least. This would reduce emissions by an amount almost equivalent to global aviation's output. But BCG said meat alternatives could grow much faster with technological progress, resulting in better products, scaled up production, and regulatory changes, making marketing and sales easier. So you can see a little chart here. Billions of tons of CO2 equivalent saved per $1 trillion invested. As you can see, plant-based proteins just, I mean, it's a banger. It's a banger. I mean, like, buildings, cars, shipping. Like, what, like, when you think about the Green New Deal! Woo! Mostly, right, people talk about, like, we're gonna get wind turbines, we're gonna have electric cars. But, you know, the most important part, getting rid of the cows, getting rid of the chickens, getting rid of the pigs, and all of our Holocaust camps, get them out. In my opinion, we've already destroyed the genome of these creatures, but we should build habitats. We should turn some of these natural parks, these reservations, into places where cows and so forth can roam and live out their lives. That's my opinion. Widespread adoption of alternative proteins can play a critical role tackling climate change, said Malt Clausen, a partner of BCG. We call it the untapped climate opportunity. You're getting more impact for your investment in alternative proteins than in any other section of the economy. Meat and dairy production uses 83% of farmland and causes 60% of agriculture's greenhouse gas emissions, but provides only 18% of calories and 37% of protein. This is where we get into the important stats. Moving human diets from meat to plants means less forest is destroyed for pasture and fodder growing and less emissions of the potent greenhouse gas methane produced by cattle and sheep. Europe and North America will reach peak meat by 2025, at which point consumption of conventional meat starts to fall, according to a separate BCG report in 2021. Another consultancy, AT blah blah, predicted in 2019 that most of the meat products people eat in 2040 will not come from slaughtered animals. Can't wait. Let's keep going. There's another part I wanted to read here. Malti said a move towards plant-based meats could also help alleviate food crises. You are cutting out the middleman, whether it's a cow, a pig, or a chicken. It's just mathematics. If instead of feeding all of those crops to animals and then eating the animals, you just use the crops directly for human consumption, you need less crops overall and therefore alleviate the constraints in the system. Now, again, it needs to be understood that we have enough money as a society, a global society. I'm talking about humanity as a whole. We have enough money that everyone on Earth could eat meat if they wanted to. But also, eating meat, I mean, again, I don't know how many times I need to tell you. Eating meat is objectively, there is no defense for it. There's no amount of this and that and whatever. You're just a drug addict. And now that's fine, you know, you're allowed to be a drug addict. I'm not saying you don't have the freedom to be a drug addict. But that's what we, like, these are the ways I like to discuss and frame this conversation. In the same way that there are people that are alcoholics, right? They're addicted to alcohol. They have to drink it every day or whatever. People are addicted to meat. It's a drug. You are addicted to drugs. It's unhealthy. It destroys the planet, right? It comes at the cost of others, etc. It's a drug. I don't know what to tell you. And again, it's fine if you're addicted to drugs. I'm not trying to shame drug addicts. But in my opinion, everything you put into your body is a drug, especially something like meat. In my opinion, I would go as far as to say meat is probably less healthy than alcohol. You know, I'm just saying, I'm just throwing this out there. You know, if you drink one beer every day versus eat one steak every day, I don't know, man. Someone needs to study that fucking shit. I'm just saying. But you know, again, we need to have this conversation. A lot of people are afraid to confront the fact that they're drug addicts. That's my opinion. And again, I don't want to attach shame or stigma to it. It's just a frame for you to understand your consumption and your habits, right? For example, I'm an oxygen addict. What does oxygen do? I mean, it fuels my fucking body. It's good for me. I'm addicted to water. What does water do? I mean, it fucking fuels my body. It's good for me, right? So again, you know, we're all addicted to certain things and all that kind of stuff. But I think food addiction in general, people overlook it. Whenever people think of food addiction, they think, oh, the fat people, the fat people. But guess what, man? I'm telling you, chances are a fat vegan is going to be slightly more healthy in a lot of different areas of their body than a very thin meat eater. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing this out there. Now, again, it's not an exact science here, right? You know, again, you can eat pasta all day, every day, be pretty unhealthy. But typically speaking, especially when it comes to your heart, right? Your heart is one of the biggest organs impacted by meat consumption. Meat is really bad for your heart, especially red meat like beef. It's just not good for you. I don't know what to tell you. It's not good for you. Cheeseburgers, not good for you. Not just because of the high fructose corn syrup and the fucking carby buns, but it's just, you know, it's the beef, it's the patties, it's all that shit is really fucking bad for you. Now, there's an argument to be made, you know, if you're eating chicken and that's the only meat that you eat, if that's acceptable, like, you know, as far as dietary, as far as health is concerned, you know, that's a conversation that we can have. But I mean, like, you know, pork, beef, that's just not good for you. It's just straight up. And again, my opinion, I think the climate conversation is really good for discussing this kind of stuff. In my opinion, it's good to, you know, any way you can get people into the conversation is good. My opinion, though, health is the most important aspect. Meat is just straight up, it's not healthy for you. It's just not fucking healthy for you. It's just not healthy for you. For me, I think the most important way to frame this conversation is health. I don't want you to die at the age of 40 from a fucking heart attack. I don't want you to have to pay millions of dollars of medical bills because you just refuse to put down the fucking stakes. I don't want that. That's not an ideal outcome for me, right? So I think framing this in a health conversation is the most important thing. Again, we live in a country, the United States of America, where 93% of Americans are cardiometabolically unhealthy. It means they got a slow fucking metabolism. It means their bodies are basically just constantly in overdose mode. 95% of Americans don't get enough fiber. What's fiber? Vegetables. Fiber is vegetables, right? 95% of Americans don't eat fucking vegetables, right? So this is a country in decline, right? And then, oh, whoa, holy shit. There's a diabetes crisis in this country. Whoa, you're telling me a whole country that doesn't eat vegetables, now there's going to be an outbreak of diabetes? Whoa. There's an obesity crisis. Whoa, rah. But it's not just, again, obesity is an external symptom. It's not just, oh, you're obese, that means you're unhealthy. You're skinny, that means you're healthy. It's not that simple. A lot of the times people, there's two ways your fat can grow. It can grow around your organs. It can grow on the outside of your body, or both. Right? Now, again, there's a lot of obese people that are way healthier than skinny people, right? Because if you've got, like, fucking a shitload of fat growing around your liver can barely fucking survive. It can barely process food, right? But your skin and bones, you're going to be a lot less healthy and a lot more sick than someone who's maybe, 60 pounds overweight, but all of their weight is concentrated on the outer parts of their body. So, again, using obese people as a scapegoat, not too good. Everyone's, again, it's 95%. Like, right, like, are 95% of Americans obese? Last time I checked, no. What is that number? Like 50%, 60%? I don't know. And so, like, I don't know, man. 95% of Americans do not eat vegetables. Like, that's a problem, and it needs to be solved. So that's my opinion. I prefer to frame this conversation in a health way. But climate change, also, again, it's every objective standard meat it's got to go. I don't know what to tell you. You want to eat meat? You know what? Once a week, whatever. Once a month, whatever. In the same way that if you want to get shit-faced, it's your birthday, you want to get shit-faced drunk, you want to drink fucking 10 shots in a row in like 3 seconds, go for it, have it. But as far as a daily ritual, I gotta have my meat. I woke up. It's been 1 hour since I woke up. I can't find my sausage, right? Like, I mean, I don't know, man. In the same way that if an alcoholic sees someone like drinking beer on a television commercial and they start their mouth starts watering, if you wake up and you're like, bacon, again, you're an addict. So I'm just saying, get your shit together. Anyway, there you go. Gotta put some carbs on your carbs, let me tell you. Rudy Giuliani just had to have heart surgery. His arteries are clogged. Tried to blame that slap on the... Oh, no. He tried to blame the slap. Oh. Not real. Can't be real. The slap that was heard round the world. Oh, God. Blackouts in Texas. I mean, did that wake anyone up in 2021? When the winter 2020 to 2021? When the whole fucking grid failed and like 50 people froze to death or tried to start a fire, didn't know how, and burned their house up. That didn't wake anyone up then. So... I don't know, I think Texas is a lost cause. Arizona, I mean, Jesus Christ. People, as long as people still, put a hose to their lawn, people care more about how their lawn looks than their own health. People care more about how their lawn looks than, the average bodily health of their neighbor or their child or their family member. As long as that's the case, we're fucked. We got too many dumb motherfuckers. So I'm going to play a propaganda film. I'm gonna play a pretty good one. This is just a 1-minute video I saw on Twitter. It was trending. I think it's important. You know, I don't pay attention to much news, to be honest with you. I don't. So I don't know if people are still talking about COVID in the news. I don't watch the news. I don't really I just don't know. I don't keep informed on what mainstream news talks about. I subscribe to a couple of YouTube channels that do news, right? Like the you know, so-called progressive media on YouTube. Oftentimes, I don't see people talk about COVID. I don't know, but I don't watch, you know, I don't do anything about that. But I'm going to watch a propaganda film here on stream. It's 1 minute long. But it's a good propaganda film. Now, again, a lot of people have a negative association with the word propaganda. Propaganda is neutral. It doesn't mean good. It doesn't mean bad. Propaganda is typically referred to in a negative sense, but it doesn't have to be. And I consider all of my shows propaganda. I think propaganda is a good thing. I think I want to make people more likely to believe in what I believe. I want to project my ideas. But anyway, I saw this video trending on Twitter. It has a good message, short and sweet, under the hashtag COVID is airborne. I want to share this. This is from the Jon Snow Project. I don't really know what that is, but I saw this video. It's good. I want to share it. It's a minute long, so let's watch.
Right now, a deadly virus is in the air. It spreads like smoke when we talk. It spreads when we cough, when we sing. Even breathing quietly is enough to spread it. And just like smoke, the virus hangs around for hours. But it takes just seconds to breathe enough to get infected. Don't breathe it in. Wear a respirator whenever you're sharing air. Not one of those leaky surgical masks. Use a proper one, rated at least N95 or FFP2. This will stop you getting sick. Don't breathe it in. Open windows. Get the virus out and get fresh air in. Wear a respirator. Get fresh air.
So anyway, I just want to talk about that really quick, really short, really sweet. Hits a bunch of really good points. So, first of all, it's unfortunate, but it needs to be said that a lot of people cannot afford masks that are rated N95. That's sad, right? Our government, we are more than 2 years into this pandemic, and our government, fuck it. Our government doesn't give a shit. Masks are one of the biggest sources of price gouging in this country. The price, I wear masks every time I leave the house, and, you know, every couple of months, 6 months or so, I buy a bunch of them. And every time I try to do so, the price goes up. So, now it also needs to be said, isn't it really sad? Isn't it really sad that we need a video from like a private corporation or company like this to do what the CDC and the United States government is just ignoring? Isn't that insane? The CDC, the so-called Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Have you seen anything like this from them? They haven't done that. They don't care. Reminder, the CDC, the last time they were in the public eye was during the height of the original Omicron surge. During the height of the surge, they told everyone to go to work even if you're sick. They did big press conferences. Good news, everyone. Only the disabled people are dying. Meanwhile, 80% of Americans have a comorbidity that puts them at risk of dying from COVID. The CDC, during the height of the last surge that was talked about in the news at all, basically said, if you're sick, go back to work, who cares? The CDC is against stopping this pandemic. I think it's very safe to say that, right? The right wing, I made some tweets something a couple days ago. I had like a shitload of right-wingers storm my tweets telling me that COVID is a biological weapon that's going to kill us all, and also it's just the sniffles. And they were all arguing both of these things at once. Interesting. Right, so the right wing is a lost cause. They're fucking morons. Democrats, right, and the right wing encompasses Republicans as well as the Republican Party, neo-Nazis, fascists, whatever. It's all the same thing. Democrats, liberals, they don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. They just don't. Joe Biden, when's the last time Joe Biden's talked about COVID? When's the last time Kamala Harris has talked about COVID? When's the last time Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, whatever, has talked about COVID? They don't give a fuck. They don't care at all. None of them care. Leftists. I consider myself a leftist. Leftists don't care. Leftists don't give a fuck. Nobody cares. I want to let you know. Every demographic doesn't give a shit. The only people that I've seen that are consistently sounding the alarm are disabled people. Why? Because they're they're at the greatest risk. So my opinion, I'm a left-winger. I'm a leftist. I consider myself an anarchist, communist, whatever label you want to use. I think anyone that even remotely even claims to share my political worldview should care about disabled people. Disabled people have been sounding the alarm on COVID the whole time. They haven't stopped. And yet, everyone else has just ignored them. Fuck them. Oh, you got long COVID? Ah, fuck you. Oh, now I got long COVID? Ah, whatever, it's no big deal. Oh, your fucking family died? Oh, your mom died? Ah, fuck you. Like, I'm just genuinely curious. I don't know about y'all. Do you have left-wing friends? I have a lot of left-wing friends, and a lot of them said, oh, I stopped wearing my mask. Oh, I don't care. Oh, COVID's not going to rule my life. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Excuse. Fuck the disabled people. Oh, that person's immunocompromised. I hope they die. I'm a left-winger. No, you're not. My opinion, if you are not talking about COVID, if you are not sounding the alarm on this kind of stuff consistently, I mean, again, it's aiding and abetting a genocide. It's that simple. If you go outside without a mask on, you get a virus and you transmit it to someone in your family who trusted you to protect yourself, you're aiding and abetting a genocide. It's that simple. You go outside without a mask on, you're genocidal. And I'm not gonna, oh, that's not fair. Oh, that's not fair. I'm not genocidal. Oh, okay. Ask your friends who are immunocompromised if they haven't died yet from being around you, how they feel about the fact that you're just throwing the virus around. It's genocidal. I mean, I'm just being honest with you. Now, again, our government has given up. Our government, at this point, is pretty much pro-genocide. I mean, it's hard to argue that the government is doing anything about this at all. In fact, they're consistently trying to cover it up. The CDC posting these, actually, fake propaganda maps that just pretend that COVID is not real or anything. Right? Again, BA5. The WHO, there was a report a couple months ago from people within the WHO sounding the alarm that they decided to stop naming new COVID variants, even though they've got a higher transmission rate, more deadly symptoms, higher vaccine evasiveness. They don't want to name them anymore to reduce panic. Because when everyone hears a new variant, they freak out, and then maybe they won't go to work. And we got to keep the machines going. We got to keep these people in line. Right? Our medical institutions have been corrupted to the core. It's that simple. The only people you can trust are individual doctors, scientists, virologists, epidemiologists, etc., people that actually study the virus and don't feel beholden to these corporations, to these organizations that are basically censoring them. That's the only people you can trust, are individual scientists, individual medical doctors, individuals doing individual studies that are not beholden to these organizations or institutions. That's it. That's all we got to rely on. And they have also, along with disabled people, been sounding the alarm on this every day, all day. So again, I don't know what to tell you. Anyone who doesn't take COVID seriously is aiding and abetting a genocide. It's that simple. I don't care if you want to pretend you're a left-winger, if you want to pretend you're a liberal, if you want to pretend you're a freedom-loving conservative. You are aiding and abetting a genocide. And I hope to God that one of your family members does not die. But if they do, I hope you cry yourself to sleep every night, knowing that it was probably your fault because I stopped wearing my mask. I ain't gonna let COVID rule my life. I ain't scared. Oh, hey, Grandma, how you doing? I haven't seen... oh, no, Grandma's dead! Yeah, fuck you. That's my point. That's what my statement is on people. Again, literally, wearing a mask when you go outside is the least you can do. I'm not asking you to fucking... donate to organizations that are studying long COVID. I'm not asking, just wear a fucking mask when you go outside. If you have the money to buy an N95 mask, get an N95 mask. It's not that hard. It's like, a lot of people don't have the money. That's a conversation I'm willing to have. Like, if you don't have the money for it, you get whatever you can. Wear a cloth mask. Whatever you can. It's harm reduction. It's harm reduction. It's not about either 100% security or 0% security. If you're going into a battlefield, people are going to be shooting miniguns. Would you prefer to have a bulletproof vest on? I mean, they could still shoot you in the leg, right? They could still shoot you in the arm, right? I mean, hell, if they shoot you 40 times in the bulletproof vest, you might still die. But would you rather go in with the bulletproof vest knowing you might survive versus going in with nothing, knowing for certain that you're going to die? This idea of, like, binary, either something is 100% secure or it's not worth doing at all. What? Motherfucker, we got some dumb motherfuckers. Dumb motherfuckers. Stupid ass bitches in this country. Stupid motherfucking bitches. So anyway, COVID is airborne. Isn't it sad that private companies and organizations are doing a better job than the government-funded institutions like the CDC? Isn't that fucking sad? It's depressing. It's fucking depressing. But this is the state of our politics. No one cares. No one gives a fuck. Nobody. Nobody gives a fuck. I want to cite this poll from a couple of months ago. A poll that said that I think only 18% of Americans think COVID is a, quote, big deal. More people care about gas prices than COVID. Isn't that sad? Now, again, I'm not saying you don't have to care about gas prices. But, I mean, isn't that fucking sad? This country of selfish, ignorant, genocidal freaks is sad. It's depressing to live in this country. It's depressing. We need to declare a mental health crisis for all Americans. We got some fucked up motherfuckers living here. And then the rest of us have to live with the fucked up motherfuckers. It's sad. Yeah, Tyler saying, why risk it? Yeah, okay, Tyler. I'm on to you. Goddamn Tyler. Everybody give a round of applause for Tyler Hackner. Thank you for being here, Tyler. Everyone's give a round of applause. Tyler is in the goddamn... Woo! Oh, Christ almighty. Alright, what else do we got? Alright, so, I want to play this. This is a statement from the governor of California, who, over the last week or so, announced that the state of California is going to become an insulin manufacturer. I want to play this clip, and then I want to discuss the situation.
On my first day in office, I signed an executive order to put California on the path towards creating our own prescription drugs. And now it's happening. California is going to make its own insulin. Nothing epitomizes market failures more than the cost of insulin. Many Americans experience out-of-pocket costs anywhere from $300 to $500 per month for this life-saving drug. California is now taking matters into our own hands. The budget I just signed sets aside $100 million so that we can contract to make our own insulin at a cheaper price, close to at cost, and to make it available to all. $50 million will go towards the development of low-cost insulin products, and an additional $50 million will go towards a California-based insulin manufacturing facility that will provide new, high-paying jobs and a stronger supply chain for the drug. Because in California, we know people should not go into debt to receive life-saving medication. On my first day in...
So that last bit there, I mean, I'm interested in why Gavin Newsom is so afraid of doing like a, you know, California Medicare for all system, but, you know, leave that aside. This is a big win. I mean, like, this is, like, it is pretty big. Now, again, real quick fun fact, the patent for insulin was sold for $1. Because the people that invented this basically said, you know, this should be free. No one should have to pay for this. This is life-saving. This is going to change the world. But then these pharmaceutical companies basically just, you know, for the last 20 years, 30 years, they've been jacking up the prices. Almost every couple of months, insulin gets more and more and more and more and more expensive. But I want to talk about what this could potentially lead to. Let's imagine a world. It's 2027. And you can go on a website and buy insulin online anywhere in the country from California and just get it shipped to your house. Think about that. What's stopping the government of California? Like, they're doing this for their own citizens, first and foremost. But what's stopping them from just shipping out insulin to anyone via the United States Postal Service? And if they fight for that, if they made this a big press thing, Gavin Newsom is going to fight to provide not just insulin to Californians, but to all Americans. You just go online, you buy your insulin, you pay for shipping, and boom, it's at your house. Think about how that would restructure the entire American healthcare system. Now, that's probably further down the pike. Is that the phrase, the pike? Like a turnpike? Anyone ever been on a turnpike? I don't know. Now, again, I find it very curious that Gavin Newsom is very afraid. What was it called? Like CalCare or something? Like the Medicare for All bill that was going to the, I think it was going through the California state legislature, and then, like, you know, certain committee basically said, nope, not happening, at the behest of the governor. Very interesting. But you know what? This is one of those things that it is a big deal. This is a big deal. And if Gavin Newsom does want to run for president, I say run against Joe Biden. Tell people, what has Joe Biden done? Motherfucker, if I get in the White House, I'm going to make it so that we can have state-sponsored insulin all across the country. What's Joe Biden done? What's Joe Biden done? Fart on the Queen? Like, come on now. Like, Joe Biden's a fucking... I want this guy to run against Joe Biden. So again, Gavin Newsom, he's a liberal. Look, we got to be clear about it. He's a liberal, for sure. He's no savior. But I want anyone and everyone to rally around literally anybody to break that first barrier of running against Joe Biden. If it's Gavin Newsom that is the first thing, the first person that declares the candidacy for 2024, I'm in. I'm in. Because, again, it's like a house of cards. Once one person signs up to run against Biden, someone else will sign up to run against Biden. And then all of a sudden, Biden's toast. Biden's polling at 30% in any and every hypothetical 2024 poll. And I'm going to go back into Biden in a little bit here. So, again, I don't really, like, I'm not, like, again, we got to be realistic about this. Is Gavin Newsom a great politician? Not really. But is he a hell of a lot better? And the bar is low, but is he a hell of a lot better than what we're dealing with right now in Democratic leadership? Oh, you bet your fucking sweet ass bippy. So, I'm just saying, think about it. Now, but also imagine a world where, let's say, Gavin Newsom runs in 2028. And what if by 2028, anyone and everyone can buy insulin online, get it shipped to their house from California, anywhere in the country? Wow, right? Like, I'm just saying, wow. Think about that. So anyway, that's a big deal. Now, again, lots to criticize about Gavin Newsom, for sure. But you got to take the win when it's given to you, in my opinion. So we'll see how this goes. And if they fuck around and they say, oh, never mind, like a year later, they go like, never mind. That's going to be a problem. I got an itchy ankle. All right. So I want to talk about this New York Times piece. I know y'all have probably seen this by now, but I want to weigh in. Gotta weigh in. Most Democrats do not want Biden in 2024, new poll shows. With the country gripped by a pervasive sense of pessimism, the president is hemorrhaging support. This came out yesterday. This basically is just a write-up on recent trends and new polls. Joe Biden is toast. I wanna underscore this before we read this article. If Joe Biden selfishly decides to run for president in 2024, what he is doing is he is sacrificing this entire country for his ego. That's what he would be doing. He is willing, if he does actually want to run in 2024, he will be destroying the entire country of the United States of America, handing the presidency to the White House, or to the Republicans rather, on a silver platter for his own narcissistic personality disorder. He will be destroying this country. It will have grave consequences, not just for this country, but for this planet. I'm going to be very clear. Everyone with a brain needs to be telling everyone else in their lives that Joe Biden cannot run in 2024, and if he does, vote against him. If you know anybody, I mean anybody, that would be willing to spend some money to run for president just to get their name on a primary, just to get a primary ballot going on. Like, what we need to do is get like a fucking 30,000 random people across the country to run in the Democratic primary in 2024. Fuck it. Fuck it. Do what needs to be done. If no other politician is willing to stand up to this fucking goon, someone else needs to fucking do it. Joe Biden needs to fuck off. It's just that simple. So I want to read a little bit of this, and there's some interesting shit going on here. President Biden is facing an alarming level of doubt from inside his own party, with 64% of Democratic voters saying they would prefer a new standard bearer in the 2024 presidential campaign. According to a New York Times Siena College poll, as voters nationwide have soured on his leadership, giving him a meager 33% job approval rating. Widespread concerns about the economy and inflation have helped turn the national mood decidedly dark, both on Mr. Biden and the trajectory of the nation. More than 3/4 of registered voters see the United States moving in the wrong direction. A pervasive sense of pessimism that spans every corner of the country, every age range, every racial group, cities, suburbs, and rural areas, as well as both political parties. Everybody says this country is fucked. Everybody, everyone, every single body. If you go to the gas station on the corner, right, and you talk to some random person pumping gas, ask them how do you feel about America, they're going to say this country's going on down the tubes. That's what they're going to be saying. Only 13% of American voters said the nation was on the right track, the lowest point in Times polling since the depths of the financial crisis more than a decade ago. Look at this poll. Jesus motherfucking Christ. Imagine someone responding with, well, you know what? I don't really know. Like Imagine you walk up to someone on the sidewalk. How do you feel about this, the direction of this country? You know what? I really don't know much about that. Jesus, right? Like, goddamn. For Mr. Biden, the bleak national outlook has pushed his job approval rating to a perilously low point. Republican opposition is predictably overwhelming, but more than 2/3 of independents also now disapprove of the president's performance, and nearly half disapprove strongly. Among fellow Democrats, his approval rating stands at 70%. That's way too high. A relatively low figure for a president, especially heading into the 2022 midterms, when Mr. Biden needs to rally Democrats to the polls to maintain control of Congress. Now, again, Joe Biden and Joe Biden's communications department has basically shit on the voters over this reversal of Roe v. Wade and abortion rights. Joe Biden's own communications people have said, yeah, you know what? Anyone that wants us to do anything about abortion, they're out of touch. No one cares what they have to say. That's what they released a statement to that effect. Joe Biden is going out there saying, vote, man. Come on, vote. For? If you're not doing anything now, what are you going to do if we vote for you again? It's not enough to just say, we need 52 senators. No, we need 50 senators. We don't have 50. We have 48 Democrats. And I'm not talking about the 2 independents that caucus with the Democrats. I'm talking about the Republicans, Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema. We have 48 Democrats, 52 Republicans. Joe Manchin, Kyrsten Sinema are Republicans. Kick them the fuck out of the party. It's that simple. If Joe Biden were to go up there and said, I've officially drafted, a letter demanding that Chuck Schumer revoke Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema's access to the Democratic Party. I'm kicking them out. I want everyone to kick them out. I want everyone to bully these people, call their office, say resign, say get the fuck out of the party. If he did that, more people would be like, oh shit, okay, now I'll vote for you. Let's keep going. It gets worse. In a sign of deep vulnerability and unease among what is supposed to be his political base, only 26% of Democratic voters said the party should renominate him in 2024. 26% want him to be the president or the nominee in 2024. 26%. Now it's going to get even worse. Mr. Biden has said repeatedly that he intends to run for re-election in 2024. At 79, he is already the oldest president in American history, and concerns about age ranked at the top of the list for Democratic voters who want the party to find an alternative. I don't give a fuck about his age. I want to vote for Bernie fucking Sanders. I don't give a fuck about your age. I give a fuck about what you're doing, what you're willing to do, and what you're able to do. Joe Biden fails at every single test. Bernie Sanders. So I'm just saying, we don't give a fuck. Young voters don't give a fuck about age. It's about demeanor, and it's about what you want to do with power. But now, okay, read this. The backlash against Mr. Biden and desire to move on in a new direction was particularly acute among younger voters. In the survey, 94% of Democrats under the age of 30 said they would prefer a different presidential nominee. Everyone under the age of 30. 6% of them are like, you know what, I think Joe Biden should run again. 6%.
No, you haven't. You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier.
Jesus. Wow. I mean, that is insane. That is an insane poll. 94% of Democrats under age 30 want Joe Biden to fuck off. I'm just going to come out and say it. I want younger blood, said Nicole Farrier, a 38-year-old preschool teacher in East Tawas, small town in northern Michigan. I am so tired of all old people running our country. I don't want someone knocking on death's door. All right, let's look at this. Democrats' reason for a different candidate. Age. Or rather, what's the most important reason you would prefer someone other than Joe Biden? So this is why they don't want Joe Biden. 33% say age. I would not say age. Now, again, if it's a checkbox or whatever, yeah, maybe I'd say age. But like that, if it's ranked choice voting on this poll, age would be on the last priority. Job performance, 32%. Prefer someone new. That doesn't really mean anything, but 12%. Not progressive enough, 10%. Let's be honest. Job performance and not progressive enough, those are basically the same thing. Let's be like, now again, a lot of people have this like bizarre attachment to I'm a moderate, or I ain't like those lefties. I want common sense reform, right? Like, ultimately, those are the same thing, right? It's just that, different words being used. Ability to win the general election, 4%. Mental acuity, 3%. Now again, age and mental acuity, let's be honest. Let's be honest. Anyone who said age, they really mean mental acuity. Everyone who said age instead of mental acuity is lying. Like, everyone. 100% of those people are lying, and I'm willing to put money on that. They just don't want to say, like, oh, I just think Joe Biden's a little fucked up in the head. They don't want to say that. So instead, they're going to go with age, because they're trying to be nice. But just to be very clear. Views on domestic issues, 1%. Other, 3%. Don't know / refuse, 2%. What is views on domestic issues? What does that even mean? Like, that. Again, the way that they do these polls is a little ridiculous. But again, 94% of young people under the age of 30, not 20, not under the age of 25, under the age of 30, 94% say fuck the fuck off. It's insane. It's insane. So you can read the rest of this if you'd like. Look at this guy. He's got like some hair thing going on. But nobody wants Joe Biden. Nobody. He's garbage. 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 I'm going to say it a couple more times. Garbage. 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 Shit on my motherfucking shoes, motherfucker. Okay? Joe Biden, get the fuck out. Step down. Resign, for Christ's sake. I'd rather have Kamala Harris, as horrible as she is, I'd rather have her at the fucking helms of the presidency right now. Jesus fucking Christ. Jesus fucking Christ. Get the fuck away. Nobody likes you. You're stinky and smelly. This is like the old motherfucker at the party that shit himself and doesn't want to admit it and doesn't want to clean it up because he doesn't want to admit it. I understand. You're old. It's okay. We're not mad at you. But Christ almighty, can you go change your fucking diaper? Get the fuck out. You're stinking up the party. Fuck you. Okay, and I don't want to be ageist here. I don't want to come across as ageist, right? But there's a difference. I don't mind if an old person shits themselves. Let's be real. I don't mind, right? It happens, right? Every once in a while, anyone can shit themselves. Who knows, right? You do too many drugs, right? You get too shit-faced. You wake up in a pile of shit. It happens. We've all been there, right? But again, then imagine just going around and you refuse to clean it up. I'm just saying, there's a different level here. So let me just be very clear. I'm not trying to be ageist. But Joe Biden has shit himself, and he is not cleaning up the fucking mess. Let's just put it that way. Well, technically, it's impossible to run for president in the 1830 to 35 range. You need to be 35. Technically. But I personally, just to be very clear, I personally would support Bernie Sanders for a third run. Bernie Sanders is at the top of my priority list. As much as I don't like him, I like the idea of Gavin Newsom running against Joe Biden. He seems to be building up the infrastructure for it. Katie Porter, I think, would be a decent choice, but, she's not so great on foreign policy, and she also has a lot of blind spots, so I think she would really need to broaden her, what she does a little bit more. I don't agree with AOC running for president, but if she did, I would support her. I think, I just don't. I don't know. I think AOC might be too fucked up, from propaganda, and I don't think that she does a good enough job combating propaganda in an effective way to run for president. That's my opinion, but I do think she has the capability of turning that around. So if she wanted to run for president, she would do it seriously. I would support her. I mean, it wouldn't be that hard. I mean, Fetterman, right? Like, who knows, right? Fetterman wins the 2022 race, goes in the Senate, and immediately starts running in 2024. Hey, I mean, I'm impressed with Fetterman's race right now. But really, in my opinion, I think the biggest coalition, the biggest already established presence, I'm going to go with Bernie Sanders. That's my, I know. A lot of people have a problem with that. I would go with Bernie Sanders. I am aware of all the cringe liberals. But let's be honest. Everything that anyone said in 2016 and 2020, we've been proven correct. We've been proven correct. I remember canvassing for Bernie Sanders in 2020, knocking on doors. Joe Biden can get things done. Wrong. I'd love to talk to those people again. Joe Biden can work with Republicans. Wrong. Joe Biden can get things done. Wrong. Joe Biden is above the fray. He knows how to get... Wrong. Bernie Sanders is too far left. Wrong. I'm just saying. So I'm just throwing that out there. I'd support Bernie Sanders, but really I would honestly support anybody but Joe Biden. Like, to be honest with you, like, I would support someone to the right of Joe Biden that's willing to do what they actually believe in. Like, let's say someone who's still pro-choice, but to the right on a couple of other things than Joe. I don't even know how that would be possible. But I'd be willing to make that compromise. I think Joe Biden is such an ineffectual leader. Like, Christ almighty. Right? Fuck. That's another conversation. Anyway, fuck Joe Biden. All my homies hate Joe Biden. Fuck them. Alright, y'all. I want to get into the movies and television portion of today's show. Movies and television portion of today's show. That was the news portion, the first hour for news. And we're gonna get into the movies and television portion of today's show. I got a lot to talk about. And so yeah, I'm gonna click the add button. YouTube is this new thing where it pops up with blue bubbles. Now would be a good time to insert ads. Alright. Okay, sure. I'll play your game. Alright. Alright, so first up, I gotta do the most pressing news, the most pressing matters. Better Call motherfucking Saul. What an ep. Holy shit. Holy shit. Holy cocksucking shit. That's all I can say, really. That's all I can say. I mean, I watched this app. Now, I want to describe my night yesterday. Yesterday, I watched a movie. I watched Blade Runner. I'm going to talk about that later. On shrooms. And after Blade Runner, it synced it up pretty nicely. After I watched Blade Runner, I watched Better Call Saul. So I was, like, very altered. I was on drugs, folks. Let me just tell you. And so this episode starts, you know, like in the same way that the previous one before the break, ended, and immediately, like, it all came, like, you know, cause it's been a little bit of the break, right? And I didn't rewatch anything or whatever to prepare. I know some people did, but I didn't. And so I went in, all the memories of watching the previous episode and being blown away, immediately come back. And this episode, I mean, it starts with the car right by the beach with the shoes. Oh. 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 E. Ah. Oh. Oh. Ah. E. Motherfucker. I'm not gonna lie. Like, watching this episode... Now, again, I'm on shrooms. I've been trying to watch every Better Call Saul episode while on shrooms. It's a religious experience for me at this point. And so, during the scene where Lalo is trying to describe to Jimmy and Kim, like, this, like, mission that he's got for them, and they're both freaking the fuck out. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I was feeling that anxiety through the television. I was freaking the fuck out as well. And then, of course, Jimmy is trying to talk Lalo into having Kim leave the house so that she could just fuck off, but then, you know, she didn't. God damn. Holy fuck. Like, that scene where they're on the couch and Jimmy's talking to Lalo to have Lalo send Kim out to try to kill Gus or whatever, and Kim is just saying, no, stop, stop. I was so uncomfortable. But, like, in that really good, like, artistic way, it made me so uncomfortable. It was really hard to watch. Like, I was, like, in the blanket. I was like, oh, God, no. Right? I was freaking the fuck out. And then that scene where Kim's driving over, that crazy bitch, she was actually gonna do it. Like, she had no idea, like, where she was going. She was actually going to do it. That's the crazy part of this episode. That part where she's driving and the cops are next to her and she's, like, thinking about... Oh, my God. Fuck. I mean, it's so good. Like, I don't even know, like, words they don't exist in the English language to possibly summarize how good of an episode this is. And then, of course, the fight with Lalo and Gus. Now, again, we know Gus is going to survive, and we know Lalo's not going to survive. Right? But even with that knowledge, wow, what an intense scene. What an intense fucking scene. Because it's also, like, we don't know if they're, like, what's going to happen if Lalo's going to escape and then be, a motherfucker for the rest of the episodes. But no, he died. Lalo's dead now. But then also, like, now every time I watch Breaking Bad, now, they bury Howard's body in the grave with Lalo's. Right? Every time I watch Breaking Bad now, when they're in the meth lab, they're walking on Howard's corpse. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna be able to watch Breaking Bad ever again without just thinking, like, holy shit, Howard is buried right underneath that shit. Oh. Oh. God damn. I mean, it's so good. I mean, it really is just so good. I mean, fuck. I don't even know. Words don't exist in the English language. They just don't. Like, if you were to ask me to review this, which I guess I am doing right now, I can't. I just can't. Like, it's impossible to summarize, like, this show in any way that there's no grouping of words that exist in the English language that could properly summarize my emotional experience. Holy shit. Holy fuck. And I love the scenes where Lalo is, like, videotaping Gus. And, like, he's vlogging. He's, like, doing, like, a retro vlog. Right, to expose Gus to the cartel. And then, like, he ends up just going a little bit too much with his vlog. He's a little too artistic. And then Gus manages to get the fucking one-up on him. That scene where Gus was ranting and raving... Like, man, I'm telling you, that was, like, some real, like, retro 2008 YouTube vibes. Like, just staring at the camera and ranting and raving like a lunatic with no... I mean, he was going in. That was great. And then, of course, he kills him. Oh, so good. It's just, I mean, this episode, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. In the scene, like, the camera, the cinematography, I love when Lalo is in the apartment with Kim and Jimmy. I love that shot with the camera attached to the chair. Like, Lalo grabs the chair, the camera's attached to the chair, moves the chair, and then, like, puts Jimmy on it and, like, fucking gags him up and shit. That was great. I love that shot at when Kim is walking to the house and the camera's like way up in the air, and it's like you see the whole like street, and you see her. Oh, the cinematography was 10 out of 10, man. It was 10 out of 10. It was 11 out of 10. Again, words like I can't. They just don't exist. Like we need to invent a new language to be able to adequately express just how good this episode was and just the show in general. But I mean, holy fuck. And then of course I love when Gus calls the manager at his restaurant while like he's getting surgery for the bullet that Lalo hit him with. Like, there's no better time. There's no better time to call like the fucking store manager than when you're getting operated on, and like, you know, but oh, Jesus. I mean, what an app. I really can't. I can't. And I won't. To be honest with you, I won't. But I also, more importantly, I can't. Like, it's just, it's so good. Oh, it's so good. It really, I can't. There's nothing. I got nothing. It's just, I got nothing. It's just such a good app. There's no, like, again, like I could just say the same things I already said. I mean, it's wow. Like, now I was expecting Lalo to somehow survive. I was expecting like a longer, but now that I know that he's dead, like, what are they gonna do in 5 more episodes? Is it 5 or 6? I think it's 5 more. But like, what are they gonna do? Like, what is left to wrap up other than Kim? Oh my god, I swear to god, like, I just want to get this on record. If Kim dies, I'm it. It's done. I will never watch the show again. I will boycott the show. I will lead a campaign to reboot the program. I will not stand for Kim Wexler dying. I can't. I won't. I refuse. My headcanon right now is that Kim runs away somehow with the vacuum cleaner guy, because they foreshadowed that they have that access to that guy now. Right? And then Jimmy in the future, the Gene version of Jimmy, is eventually going to try to find Kim. That's my headcanon. That's what I'm anticipating is going to happen. That's what I'm trying to manifest into the world. Those are the energies that I'm going to bring my fucking incense. Alright, we're going to fucking plop our incense down. We're going to fucking sit in the lotus position, and we're going to sing some hymns to manifest this reality. Holy fuck. Holy fuck. But wow, what an app. I can't. The scene with Lalo, I mean, it's a literal scene where Bob Odenkirk hit the ground screaming and had a heart attack, apparently. So I wonder, like, if they have that on tape. I wonder if we can get that released. But also, I mean, it was so, no wonder the motherfucker had a heart attack. Like, like, I mean, watching that shit, ooh, I almost had a heart attack, motherfucker. Oh my god. Oh, right, it was so good. I don't know, it's just, so I can sit here and tell you how good it is a couple more times, and in fact I will. It was so good, comma, so good, period. Alright, so, but goddamn, what an ep. I'm in. I'm all the way in. I've never been in more in anything in my life. I'm in. Goddamn. What an app. What an app. What an app. I don't know. I'm blown away. Alright. Next up on the television. Goddamn Westworld. I didn't do a show yesterday, so this was Sunday night, but I gotta talk about it. Westworld. Goddamn Westworld, let me tell you. Holy shit. It's goddamn Westworld. Yo, I'm not gonna lie, Westworld is getting really good. I mean, it's always been good. I binged this show again for the first time like a couple of weeks ago. And it's such a good show. I don't know what to tell you. But anyway, so this episode picks up. They're in like the fucking like 1920s. like Chicago area. That's the new park. So instead of like, you know, Wild West, it's goddamn 1920 Chicago. And like I love the scenes where they're like all the storylines are the same apparently. Right? And Maeve goes in knowing how the story goes. Of course, Aaron Paul's character doesn't know anything about this. He's never been in one of these parks before, which I think is really funny because Aaron Paul's character was introduced in season 3. And then you got Maeve, who's like a season 1 character, main character on the whole show. Right? And it's kind of like, you know, a blending of like the new cast with the old. I thought it was a really good job that they did that. And then of course I loved that like kind of like fourth wall breaking thing where it's like the Westworld like massacre is like built into the storyline, so they have hosts that like there's a second level. Oh wow, I mean that whole storyline. And then like Caleb goes into the thing to find his daughter, but it was a trap or whatever. Oh, that was great. I can't wait to see what happens there. But more importantly, the more important storyline now is that Bernard's finally awake. He took a long nap. He wasn't there in the first 2 episodes. The motherfucker napped for a long time. So apparently Bernard was in like the fucking, I don't know, like the, you know, the host quantum verse, you know? And it was established that every year that goes by in the real world is 1,000 years in the host quantum verse. And it's also been established that there's an 8-year gap between season 3 and 4. So that means Bernard was chilling in the quantum verse for fucking 8,000 years. That's a lot of years. Like Jesus Christ, man. So then he gets back into the real world, and now he's like a prophet. He knows everything that's going to happen. He's ran every like simulation in the quantum verse, right? He ran all the simulations. He knows which world he's in, right? I thought that shit was great. I thought it was so good. When he's like putting the napkins on the table because he knows that the coffee's gonna spill. I mean, like the whole episode was great. I mean, really, like I'm glad the Bernard storyline is back and they did it in a really good way. Who knows what's gonna happen? So all we know is that in the future there's like some event, like world destruction or something. Bernard's gonna try to stop it, and that's all we know. Like we don't know anything else. We don't know what he's been up to in those 8,000 years of the quantum verse. Goddamn, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. It's good. I mean, it was a good ep. It was a really good ep. And then, the ep with the fucking kid and the wife. Who knows how that fucking shit happened? What happened to the wife? We don't know. Damn. I mean, what an ep. I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's... I'm enjoying. Like, we got a lot of, like... We got Better Call Saul and Westworld. Aaron Paul is going to be on both of them at one moment in time, apparently. And I'm looking forward to that. That weekend's going to be great. But, I mean, these are 2 really good shows. I can't recommend enough. If you're not watching Westworld, well, first of all, you have a low IQ. It's just that simple. Like, I mean, I don't make the rules.
Only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ.
If you're not watching Westworld, you're dumb as a motherfucker. It's such a good show. I mean, it's so good. It's so good. It really, I'm impressed. I mean, it's a great show. I enjoyed the recent episode quite immensely, I must say. I mean, a lot. I would go as far as to say. I would. Goddamn. Goddamn Teen Wolf. I'll put it on my list. New Resident Evil show. I have not seen a single Resident Evil non-game thing. I've not seen any of the movies. I've not read any of the books. I'd like to. I want to, like... Maybe I'll do it this Halloween or this October, whatever. Marathon all the Resident Evil movies. I don't know, man. Like, they seem fun. Because my thing is, like, I want to go into it watching all of them in a row. Like, you know, maybe 1 a day or 2 a day or whatever. But, you know, and I know they keep producing new stuff during that time period. And so, like, my eventual doing it gets longer and longer away. Bob Odenkirk being up for Best Actor award against Kevin Costner. I disagree. I mean, I love Bob Odenkirk. But my opinion, what is her name? Like Rhea Seehorn or whatever? I mean, Jesus Christ, right? Like, if anyone deserves an award, it's her. Goddamn. So, you know. That's my opinion. Alright, we're getting into movie time, folks. That's right, this is a movie review show at this point. We're showing that this is a movie review show. And we're showing. So, let's talk about this. Last night, I did some magical fungi. So fungi, people pronounce it differently. Fungi. I don't know about fungi. I prefer fungi. You know, if you want to hang out with a fun guy, you know, we can all strive for that. Anyway, watch Blade Runner. Well, fucked up on goddamn, you know, fungus while watching Blade Runner. So, damn. I mean, like, damn. I've seen this movie once before when I was like a teenager, but I didn't really appreciate it as much as I did now. This is a good movie. This is a really good movie, especially when you're on drugs. So, like, I'm going to describe my opinion, my favorite parts of this movie. One, I love, like, the sets. I love the colors. I love how many bright lights there are. Like, they do in this movie, there's so many, like, shots that are just, like, all lighting based. Like, the shots in the apartment, in Harrison Ford's apartment or whatever, where the light is peering through the blinds and there's, like, lines everywhere. Oh, like, that shit was so fun to watch. Right, like, the neon signs when you're in the downtown. Oh, it's just... And then the sets when they're in the flying cars. Oh, fuck. I mean, again, I was enthralled. I was, like, sitting, like, my pupils were, like, right? I was just sitting going, like, staring at the TV screen. Oh, fuck. And the other thing was, like, the acting from the replicants, right? Especially the blonde guy. Damn. That motherfucker made so many, like, fucking, like, he did a really good job. I don't know the actor's name, I forget. But he did a really good job of using his, like, face to scare the fucking shit out of me. Like, when he smiles, or, like, when he talks in, like, that weird whispery way, and then, like, you know, really over-accentuates his face, right? Oh, scared the fucking shit out of me, man. Scared the fucking shit out of me. I was like, right? I was freaking the fuck out. This was a great movie to watch. I'm gonna take my cardigan off. It's getting a little hot in here. And I was scared shitless. Like, I paused the movie to try to shit, and no shit would come out. I was scared shitless. I could not shit. Like, wow. I mean, again, like, this movie, it was, like, in the music. I gotta talk about the music, because, like, again, when I'm on shrooms and I'm watching, like, a movie, the music is always one of the best, you know, things for me. And the person that did the music, Vangelis, also did the music for Carl Sagan's Cosmos, by the way. Which you gotta watch. If you like Blade Runner, watch Cosmos. It's got the same musical stuff. Anyway, the music, so good. So good. I mean, like, there's, like, parts in the music where it gets, like there's a, like, small droning, right? And especially when you're on these kinds of drugs, right? Like, the droning, you don't notice it until it's there, and then you're like, holy shit, there's some droning going on, right? And then it gets loud, and then, like, the music breaks out, and there's, like, lots of saxophone. It's just, the music was so good. I was so into this movie. Like, I remember watching this as a teenager, and, like, I liked it. I liked a lot of the themes, but it was also, like, I felt like it was too long. But now, I felt like it was too short. Now I'm watching this movie, motherfucker, I want a longer movie. But the music, oh my god, it set the tone so well. It was just so good. I mean, like, This is a fucking banger movie, especially for being on mushrooms. I mean, a banger. An absolute banger. Like the scene when the fucking replicant kills that Tyrell guy and like fucking like puts his thumbs into his eye sockets and then it's like crushes his head. I was losing it, man. Like again, I'm like feeling like I'm way too into this movie because of the drugs. And I'm like, oh my god, that's gotta hurt. Like, and it was grossing me out, but I couldn't look away. Fuck. What a movie, though. I mean, it was a really good movie. Like, goddamn. I want to watch the sequel again at some point. I don't know how long that'll be, but this movie, very, very good. Very, very good. I mean, I can recommend it enough. Maybe, theoretically. But it would take me a very long time to do so. So I'm going to say that I can't recommend it enough. What a good movie. I enjoyed it quite a lot. Goddamn. What else is there to say? I don't know. It's just really good. Really good stuff. Like the scenes at the end when the replicant guy is like talking but you can't see him, right? And Harrison Ford is like trying to run away from the fucker and like you just hear him taunting him. And there's like that echoey shit. Another thing about this movie is it's so moist. Like every character's got like water on their face at all times. Like outside it's raining all the time. There's steam everywhere. Everyone's all moist and swampy, and it's like it has that vibe of like just like I felt humid watching this. I felt like, you know, I was like it's really wet just watching this movie. But like the echoing effects, oh man, really fucking good. I mean, it's a good movie. It's a good ass movie. If you haven't seen it, watch this fucking shit. I don't know what to tell you. Goddamn. Anyway, that's Blade Runner. Goddamn Blade Runner. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I do. I think I already did tell you though. But goddamn. I got more. Oh my god, my body. I've seen the sequel. I think I saw it when it came out. But I want to watch it again on shrooms for sure. I feel like I'd appreciate it more. MS Pintail. I don't know about that, but sure. Just send me a message and I'll remember to do it later, I guess. Anyway. I want to review one more film for today. This film is an artsy film. And it's like a silent film. So, but it's like it's not an old silent film, it's a new one, 1989. I watched Begotten. I'm sure that almost no one has heard of this. I watched this movie when I was like really fucked up on marijuana products. I was demoing a new tincture, I believe. If you don't know what a tincture is, it's an extract. And I was like really fucking high when I watched this, right? And the thing about, so this movie, okay, check this out. This movie's got like the sounds. Like, again, it's like a silent film, right? So the only thing, like the whole movie, there's like a crackling going on. And that shit was freaking me the fuck out. Right? So I think this movie is based on some stupid Bible bullshit. I'm not sure. Right? Fuck the Bible. You can watch this movie on YouTube, by the way. It's free on YouTube. Just look it up. And so, like, this movie, like, there's, like, it starts out with, like, someone, like, tearing, like, their own body apart. It's, like, some freaky shit. There's, like, people getting pulled by, like, their umbilical cords or something. It's, like, this some really freaky shit. right? It's a silent film. It's black and white, like, and it's purposefully like kind of really hard to see details, and it leaves a lot to the imagination, and that's what I enjoy about this movie. Is it's a very imaginative experience, right? There's no sound other than that like crackly shit that's like really fucking with your brain, right? And like all the scenes, all the scenery is just gross, gory, like garbage. And I say garbage in like in a good way. Like it's just it's so much on screen, like then it's all disgusting, but you can't look away. Like this is a movie that I don't know if you would watch this not on drugs, but if you're on drugs, this is a great movie to watch. It will like, you know, it's a great movie to watch if you're on drugs. Like that's all I can say. If you're high, I don't know about watching this movie on shrooms. Honestly, that would be a little scary, but maybe at some point. Though I don't know if I'll watch this movie again for a while. But damn, I was really high when I was watching this. And like I kept like, you know, when you're really high on marijuana, you like have that short-term memory loss. So I'd keep forgetting like what these people were doing. Like why are they doing that? Like, and then I was like, oh right. And then it was like I was trying to like, you know, the story is there's really kind of no story. I mean, it's like based on some Bible bullshit, but to me it's just like a bunch of people like fucking like cutting each other up and like, man, it was a hard movie to watch, but it was enjoyable. I love that, like, I love watching movies that's like a challenge. Like, do I like this? Like, do I like watching this? It's kind of like eating spicy food, you know? Like, it's hard to watch, but when you're over, you're like, damn, okay. But like, while you're watching the movie, it's like, oh, God, oh, God, should I do something? Should I turn this off? Like, but then once it's over, it's like, whew. That was worth it. But damn, like again, when they're like ripping these bodies apart, shit was fucked up, man. I don't know what else to say, but you can watch this movie for free on YouTube, so look it up. It's only like an hour-ish. So it's not that long, but you know, if you want to have a good time, pop some edibles, cause let me tell you. It's a challenge. It's a challenge, but it's a good challenge. Begotten. What a film. And that's pretty much it. I got some more movies to review, but I'll do it, goddamn Criterion Collection. I'll review more movies tomorrow. Anyway, that's my show for today. That's my show. All right. So that's it. It's over. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's over. So get the fuck out. Get out of here. New space pictures. Oh. 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 Whoa! Whoa! Holy shit. Man. I gotta print this shit out on my wall. Holy shit. Alright, y'all. That's it. It's over.
And then they have cans of soup. Soup. And they throw the cans of soup.
That's better than a brick because you can't throw a brick, it's too heavy. But a can of soup, you can really put some power into that, right? And then when they get caught, they say, no, this is soup for my family. They're so innocent. This is soup for my family. It's incredible. And you have people coming over with bags of soup, big bags of soup, and they lay it on the ground, and the anarchists take it and they start throwing it at our cops, at our police. And if it hits you, that's worse than a brick because it's got force. It's the perfect size. It's like made perfect. And when they get caught, they say, no, this is just soup for my family. And then the media says, this is just soup. These people are very, very innocent. They're innocent people.
I mean, the fossil fuel industry, they weigh in so significantly. I mean, how could it be?
I don't know who created Pokemon Go, but I'm trying to figure out how we get them to have Pokemon go to the polls.
I am not up to the job. And I mean that sincerely. It's not like, whoa.
No, seriously, hot sauce. I've been eating a lot of hot sauce, a lot of raw peppers and hot sauce.
$7 million for reef fish management, $25 million to combat Asian carp, $2.5 million to count the number of amberjack fish in the Gulf of Mexico.